any other team in the near future in the next games that we're gonna be seeing, because they have the Camille and the Jace already. Both are really good on the solo lanes. Rengar being offered, I don't think this is going to be the case here. Vladimir is the usual good option, but EDG or like blind picking the Jace actually is so much confidence that they have on you that they don't need to ban away the Vladimir, they don't need to ban away the Zoe. It's basically you saying that he can handle the matchup, whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. Bring it on here. But the thing about Vladimir is, if you think about it, it's really a very, very safe kind of pick, right? You just play safe in that lane and try and poke up as much damage as you can, try and take trades, just try and deny as many of the all-ins as you can, and you should be good to go. But this is a Jace we're talking about. As far as denying a Jace from all-inning, that's not necessarily an easy thing to do, to say the least. But Yonti, I think, is up for the task for that. He's no stranger to playing Vladimir after all. Here we go. Both compositions locked up here on either side. Very standard on both sides. The only thing I'm worried of here for EDG is they don't necessarily have as much of a front line of TF. But TF, they're going to take a little bit of time to ramp up. That's the one thing I'm worried about their comp. They have a Vladimir, Aatrox, Jax combo, which means that they have a very susceptible, a very vulnerable early game.
I mean, it takes so much time to scale up. Every single champion they have, or except for the support, of course, takes so much time to get their items. Very resource-heavy champions. EDG, knowing how aggressive they can actually be in the early game, and they have a 0-7-11 with the Evelyn, they have the Jace for you. Oh man, it's going to be loaded with action for sure. Lots of pressure going to be established here by Edward Gaming against Team Flash from minute 1. And even yesterday, we have seen clashes by the first 10 seconds and the first blood happening. It can happen today as well.
Nah, you know what? I'm still at the high from those series from yesterday. It was absolutely bonkers. And I think that's one of the few times that we've had 3 games in a row, if that makes sense. Two games in a row.
Yeah.
Two games threes in a row yesterday. It's not something we see a lot of. But either way, it was so good. Definitely worth putting in the extra hours. And I do hope we see more of that today as well, as EDG are off to a pretty standard start. Well, both sides for that matter. And a little bit of a skirmish towards T3 and Sajang here on the Baron lane, but nothing too aggressive on either side.
I mean, T3 landing the post, but this Camille does have the sustain, of course, with the tactical sweep, so it's gonna be fine. Takes for the short exchange!
Oh, forward, but Kuden goes down really early on. And Shiki's got a mountain to climb to survive, and will be able to do so for now. But EDG is starting off quick here. Before even the 1-minute mark, they find the first blood.
It was because of an overextension coming in from Kuden that got punished heavily. I mean, yes, you're an Ezreal, you can poke out, but if you get too overconfident and too far forward, of course you're gonna get punished. It's a Nautilus, for Christ's sake.
And the thing is, you can be aggressive as an Ezreal if you already have that Arcane Shift, but he didn't have it yet. Only has level 1 at that point, so Mystic Shot is the only thing available for them there. So yeah, unfortunately a little bit mishap there for the bot lane duo of TF, paying big time for it already. Had to expend every single ability that they had, and now it's gonna leave them vulnerable.
Of course they're gonna contest.
Okay, knock-up connects. And that's going to be Langry. Nowhere to go. At least TF find a little bit of an answer as they take down the support here side of EDG. So, yeah, that's going to be too much of a worry that they have a little bit less summoner spells this time to work with on the bottom side.
That's
they find an answer back.
Also securing the Scuttle Crab in the bottom side river. The top side will be secured here, of course, by 0-7-11. Gonna be fine there for sure. Top side is just going to be a lonely mountain for now. I don't think T3 or Xiaojiang would look for any fix. Unless 0-7-11 is going to be confident enough, since he is level 5, they can actually go with him, since Hextech Ultimatum can lock the Jax down. But does have the ultimate as well to be tanky enough to withstand the burst. So might not be the best lane to go.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I'm expecting from Saigon TF though is them pivoting that attention towards that bottom side. When we talk about the scaling of their comp and how it takes so much time for the whole squad to ramp up, it's not necessarily as true for the bottom side because they do have an Ornn Ezreal. They can keep toe-to-toe in the early game, especially against a Zeri. So I would expect a little bit of attention pivoted towards that bottom side, but so far TF not really necessarily doing so for now, apart from that first engagement earlier where they were able to shut down Langui. And instead is more of a top lane gank, a Baron lane gank here coming through from TF. And 368 unfortunately unable to find the setup, but this could just be a little bit of vision control happening for that Rift Herald take.
Nothing much happening. It's actually a better sign coming in from Team Flash rather than Edward Gaming. Because again, EDG strives through the... Close one. Alright.
Oh, shot blast almost.
There.
Yeah. Oh, I was supposed to tell what's happening there, but I didn't. I couldn't talk. I was just waiting. I was just waiting if it was gonna happen.
We're not playing anymore. That was for a while ago.
But Yon T almost goes down to that shock blast. Fortunately, still had the sanguine pool to stay alive for now. But that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? When you have a Vladimir picked up, generally just want to stay alive for that late game, and I think Yon T doing a spectacular job at that.
I mean, Team Flash right now in the state of the game I think is doing really great, but first objectives are about to spawn up, and usually CN Confidence Team gets the bigger lead after that through better team fight positions, through better setups as well as cleaning up the enemy team, getting 2, 3, even 4,000 gold instantaneously after the fight. So that's where Team Flash needs to be very careful. Maybe they have to just trade up objective first, go with the RH or the Dragon, whichever 0711 is not going to be, because I think that's the safer option here, especially that they shouldn't really be pressured that much since they have 4 scaling champions. They would be fine as long as this game progresses to 15 minutes, possibly more. But EDG, they're the ones with the pressure here to establish control early.
True. Not necessarily as early as possible, but now they've used the Hexac Ultimatum onto T3. That's the last caress as well, making sure that that last breath is going to be up for the Jacks as EDG march their way towards Rift Herald after taking the Baron laner. But now they're getting jumped on by 3 players here of TF. They get the call of Forge Guard onto Alone, but they're not going to be re-engaging one more time there. So EDG recognizing what they needed to do there, take out the Baron laner. Now they're looking to extend that lead further as they take the Rift Herald as well. But the Baron, or rather their Dragon, not getting started up yet by Saigon TF means that EDG can actually contest this Dragon take.
Yeah, it's because they got the kill onto the Jacks a while ago, T3, and then the rest of Team Flash tried to engage onto a team fight, forced it out, but again, Edward Gaming has a better composition for the early game, so that prevented Team Flash from getting this Dragon, and EDG just gets it for free. Double objectives, 3,000 gold lead, just like we mentioned earlier.
Really good start here for Edward Gaming, and suffice to say, we did expect this to happen for them, but I do have to say, not this early. I would think that they needed at least a couple more minutes, but here we go. Getting jumped on Zhejiang as Shiki and T3 try and find a little bit of damage, but it's actually T3 getting chipped down to half HP, so not even afraid they're on the 1v2. That's Edward Gaming for you. Beautiful stuff here on that, Camille.
Infernal Dragon picked up as well. It's great sustain or great scaling for their side as well.
Yeah.
If they get the second Dragon, that would even be buffed up even more. Team Flash now starting to feel the pressure. You as well is pushing here into the bottom lane though. Shiki's gonna be here. They're still gonna be scared.
Forge God doesn't connect. What happened there? But you getting jumped on either way. Counter Strike doesn't connect. Leap Strike is still be there for the knockup too, as you gets the double knock back in, but he does not anticipate 368 coming through, so unable to execute there with the call of the Forge God, but they still managed to get the kill, so all things good and dandy here for the side of Team Flash.
Especially with the help of 368, landing the Dark Blade. I think he did get the kill as well, so that's great scaling for Team Flash's side. Yeah, so I think it's best for them to funnel all the gold towards the Aatrox.
Oh, look at that damage coming through. Almost taking down Kuden after just 2 abilities there. 0711, you could see EDG slowly making their way towards the point where they could just go ham against these players from Team Flash. But as of the moment, I would argue that they can already, just paying enough respects to, or paying the respect that they are due here, Team Flash. But here we go again. Last Crest is available for 0711. The Shiki dashes back into the safety of that turret, but there's 4 players from EDG here. Yonti has to find a bit of damage to come back here, but they've already taken down the Ornn. And that's enough for EDG. They're backing off. Again, nice little calculation as 368 gets locked down, and that's going to be another easy execute. Edward Gaming, 2-0 Team Flash, not finding anything back.
Clean execution as always here from EDG, and now top lane being pressured. Not the tower takedown just yet. Bottom lane, great response by T3. Xiaojiang not going to be taken onto him just yet. That's at least something that Team Flash has gotten, despite the many mishaps that keeps on happening in this 8-minute game. They're still down though by 3,000. The only good thing is that it's not ballooning that much just yet. And,
not yet.
And bold cap on that, because anything can happen.
I agree with the Judge line, and Kuden's just got nowhere to go. That's the lockdown of the Nautilus. And alone with the assist on the execute too. That's the 3rd kill in a row that Team Flash have been unable to answer here, GG.
Yeah, it's just like getting kills for free. No exchanges, no trade-offs, no counter engages coming in from Team Flash, no resistance at all, and that's a little bit, you know, concerning on the side of TF here. Edward Gaming, they're not gonna stop pressuring. Small skirmishes are their key to victory, especially that they do have the Camille, the Jace, and the Evelyn. They're gonna be keeping on looking for picks. Even the Nautilus just helps out so much. That's the design of the composition that they have right now. So Team Flash has to really avoid those kinds of circumstances, group up constantly, take some towers, delay the game, wait for the 15-minute mark. That's when they strike, grouped up as well. Not isolated.
Emphasis on your last point there, delay the game. That's exactly what they need to do at this point. And part of the reason why Edward Gaming hasn't been able to balloon their lead is because they haven't necessarily been looking for those team fights. They haven't necessarily been looking for the big engages because there have been no reason to. The objectives are spawning up in just a bit, so maybe now they will be starting to look for those. And now we are going to get to see a glimpse of just how far ahead EDG actually are in terms of damage. Now here comes the sun coming through from Langui onto Shiki. That is the tankiest player here, but they do get the knock up onto the Ornn, trying desperately to stay alive now as X6 ultimatum finally going to be used. But there's 4 people here. Team Flash looking to answer back. Shiki called the worship god into the back line as Langui goes golden for now, but that's a punish onto Shiki as Langui in the midst of 4 people gets chipped down to half as EDG running away with their tail tucked between their legs as the Dragon actually started up here by Team Flash. Down to 2,000. I don't think 0711 can contest this. It's still a little bit too far off, and that's going to be exactly what's happening. Team Flash finds the Dragon, but are they going to be able to survive this team fight that follows afterwards? EDG, they have been found one. And Yonti running for the hills now. Look at the cross into the Flash as you finds the kill onto him. That's EDG getting a couple after losing the Dragon. They could turn towards the next big objective because of that.
I mean, Team Flash had a really good job already in getting the Dragon for themselves, but it's not the time to go for team fights. Yes, you have great priority, but you have to take into consideration how EDG can just choke you out. And it's through the positionings that they have, through the pokes, through the burst, better positions as well. Team Flash could not fully engage onto them. Everyone was scattered as well, looking to just back away, but they got too deep just because they engaged first. And Edward Gaming, the only thing they did is punish them.
Exactly. Just waiting to pounce. I mean, that was the only thing they can do after the Drake has been taken already, right? So, Edward Gaming, they had to look for an exchange, and that's exactly what they do by finding those kills. But an apple is an apple, and Team Flash has taken a Dragon away from EDG. So, credit where credit is due. They did a pretty good job in that encounter, despite being 5,000 gold behind now. Oof. As Elder Dragon actually contesting, actually threatening this Baron take so early on at the 12-minute mark. But I don't think Team Flash has an idea that this is already happening. Yeah. 2 of their players here distracting here EDG while the rest are taking the Baron, and it's going to be snuck away by 3 of their players. That's the Baron out, taken by Edward Gaming.
Great macro play coming in from EDG. It's nothing that T3 can actually do here.
Yeah, Xiaojiang getting caught by the counter strike, and they're denied. Bit of a mishap there for 368. as Zhao Jiang is more than confident enough to take this 1v2. Hookshot is available, but he's not re-engaging back into that fight, as it's a 1-3-1 formation here for Edward Gaming. With the Baron buff, of course, it's going to be a huge play there. 0711 that found Yonti there. The Crown of Shattered Queen keeps Yonti alive for now, but even through the crown, that's a ton of damage from the Evelynn.
And later on, they're just going to be looking for more. That's the thing here. Just rinse off and repeat. Constant pressure here against Team Flash in every single lane. Just prevent them from grouping up and slowly chip them off. Inhibitor tower taken already into the mid lane. Just go to the bottom.
Oh! T3 almost going down. The last rest used up just for a little bit of a defensive play there for 0711. Here comes the World Ender coming through from 368. But they won't be able to find the range on that Darkened Blade. So it is again going to be used for naught here, as TF just barely surviving these minion waves. Look at the Yonti almost going down off of that wave.
Off of just one wave. That's how close it could have been. Fortunately, there's no one from Edward Gaming actually there to just punish that as well. They're happy with what they've gotten already. It's a 10,000 gold lead from a 4,000 gold lead a while ago. 4-5, possibly. And just with the Baron power play. And now Team Flash getting more and more behind. They need to still be a lot careful. There's still a possibility they can scale up.
Oh, Stasis popped here, and I don't think there's anywhere for 368 to go unless he flashes. And that's what exactly he does. But EDG, they're playing this map pretty smart. They know that when it comes to the team fight, there is a chance for Team Flash to actually bounce back because of the amount of team fight setup that is available to them. They have the Call to Forge God, they have a Jax that can set up the Counter-Strike play as well. So EDG, they're respecting the team fight capability here of TF, and they're not letting it happen. That's why they've been performing the 1-3-1s. But now that the Baron is already used up here, EDG can't really go for the split push yet. So that's why they're struggling a little bit for the push for the moment. But the beauty about how far ahead they are is they can set up something like this, a Death Brush here on the blue side.
They will. They will set up. Alone is just baiting them. Shiki got hit by the shock blast, so that signals that the rest of Edward Game might actually just be here. But they're being forced. Still committing. Call of the Forge God
from Shiki. Gets a knock up onto Alone. That's a key target, but that is going to be Flash used up by Alone. Just still alive. Trishak Raj doesn't connect onto Alone, so he's safe for now. Team Flash's engage has been botched. This is the time for EDG to turn it around. 0711 going in, and Zhao Jiang actually goes in for the Hextech Ultimatum onto one. The World Ender does not keep that Aatrox alive as EDG turn their tides onto Yonti, who goes golden for a sec, but will be going down after another. That's two players out for TF Saigon. And that's actually make that 3.
Yeah.
And there's no counter punches. EDG looked to take another Drake, another Dragon under their belt.
Oh man, they're just setting traps and traps and traps, and Team Flash keeps on getting, you know, caught on those traps by Edward Gaming. Just a masterful class of, you know, forcing the enemy to just commit onto a team fight. And they had so many of those setups made all throughout the game. Now the gold lead keeps on ballooning. Now they have better position towards this Baron as well, since many people from Team Flash are just dead. T3 is here, but can't do anything.
Absolutely nuts. Even the two-shot barrage is just a little bit off the timing there because don't really have real vision of the Baron pit there. As Edward Gaming walk away with 2 objectives in a row. T3 looks to find a setup. There's a Call to Forge God. Does not hit onto anyone as Lagby's isolated. Look at the double knockup on the Darkened Blade. But here comes 0711 on the flank. What damage is that? The last caress finds everyone. And Team Flash gets obliterated by Edward Gaming.
And oh man, EDG landing a decisive strike in game number 1. 16k! Almost 16,000 gold lead at 16 minutes, and they ended in a dominating fashion. To think that it started off a little bit slow, just a couple of picks that they've made in the early game, not too shabby at all, but the moment the first objective spawned up,